We're back. We're back. That's Drake, and my name is Shan, and this is Talks They Don't Want to Have for She Gets It Pod and an Everything Culture collab. You can find us on your favorite podcast app. We are two podcasters who came to do one series talking about Blackness for African Americans living in America. All right? This one here is a good one because it's in season. When is it not in season? We're talking about the Black impact in sports for Black people in America. Okay.
Yes,
Let me start by saying thank you for checking us out. Thank you for subscribing. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't left a review, please leave a review. We appreciate you. You can find Drake on Everything Culture, on everythingculture.com, Everything Culture on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Twitter for him. Okay, Everything Culture. Okay, you don't see no I in it; it's an A, because we put that seasoning on it. And you can find me at She Gets It Pod for the podcast, shanbypodding.com for everything podcasting, Shanby Podding on TikTok, Shanby Podding on IG, and all of that great stuff. If you haven't checked out the other episodes, please do. Okay, we have one more episode after this, and then we're done with this series, but we enjoyed it. Okay, and we're going to tell you guys how we enjoyed it and how we love the feedback. This one right here, I had to squint my eyes a little because I'm not a lover of the sports, okay? But I'm gonna do my due diligence because we're talking about Black impact in sports, and I see us in sports. I'm just not a lover of sports. When it comes to us, I think we bring the funny, the style to the field, to the courts. We are fair. We put in the time, our work ethic as far as sports. I love seeing us in the Olympics. I love seeing us run. I love seeing us do long jumps. I love seeing us, do our own style of tossing that ball. I love seeing us, just really get seen so other kids can see what they can be, what they can do. Just seeing our bodies do this amazing things in sports. It's amazing. And they look amazing. We look amazing. And we're just doing it all. But at a certain point, we weren't able to do that because of our skin color. And I want to say the first Black person in sports to make a breakthrough was Jackie Robinson for us. And people say, sports is about having fun and things, but really it has always been political for us because the way that a lot of Black people in history got into boxing or into entertaining was not free will. It was us having to do it to entertain people who owned us. And finding pleasure in sports and being able to make a living from playing sports and being talented in sports is a beautiful thing. But at the same time, when you look at the number of Black owners of teams, we're still not balanced in other ethnicities. When it comes to getting fairness as far as like being a player in certain sports, I mean, some of them do, but it's not balanced yet. But I think we have broken a lot of barriers in sports as Black people. Drake's gonna talk more on it. He said he had a treat for us. I don't know what the treat is. And
say please. So the thing is, everything Shannon is saying is absolutely correct. Okay. Once again, I'm Drake with Everything Culture Podcast, and this is what we do. And I found pleasure looking up some of these folks, and we will go in detail with some of these folks in the future as well, because before we know what February you're going to be here, and you know what that means. I know Shannon don't like it, but I support it. It's Black History Month. But the thing is, Sports is one of the things that help us break through many barriers, whether we like it or not. Sports is a type of entertainment that instead of people going to war, we have our athleticism to show our skills and our competitiveness in these sports. Many of these sports are not only within America, it opens up worldwide when we have to go against different countries and entities. So we represent America. And just like with us serving in the military, with us playing sports have just as much impact, believe it or not. So from not only Jackie Robinson, but in other players as well. Yeah. So I'm gonna go through a timeline. If we make a little, I think we got enough time to go through that.
Yes.
So let's go even further back than Jackie Robinson. Okay. Jackie Robinson is actually not the first African American baseball player
in the
National League.
Please educate me.
So possibly we go as far as Jackie Robinson, he came out in what year? Oh my goodness. If I'm not mistaken, was it 60? Not 1960s.
The 1940s?
1947 when Jackie Robinson went from the Negro Leagues. Once again, we had our own leagues too. We made our own, and it was integrated. And a lot of things that's in the MLB came from the Negro Leagues as well. That's another conversation to have. But there were two players, William Edward White, as well as Moses Fleetwood Walker, and his brother, Weldy Walker. So it's three. Go ahead.
Moses and Fleetwood?
Hey, and they played in 1879.
Oh.
Yeah. So 1879 is when William Edward White came in. And then in 1884 is when Moses Fleetwood Walker and William Edward White came in to play in the MLB, or the Major League in total. Okay. First African American to play professional baseball. Now with William Edward White, he only played one game, and he played as a substitute. They needed that nigga. Then he played as a Hey, he came in. They may not have made such an impact as Jackie Robinson, but that's one of the examples. In 1896, the first African American to compete in the U.S. Open Golf Championship was John Shippen.
John Shippen.
Yes. Take it back. In 1899, the first African American to win a gold medal at the Track Cycling World Championship was Major Taylor, and it was a sprint. Oh, that brother had that part down the middle of his head. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead. In 1902, we came through. First African American basketball player, first African American football player, and first African American boxing champion. We got to go with Henry Lou for basketball, and we go with football, Charles Follis, and then for boxing, we go with Joe Gans.
Yeah, I had him on here. Our first black person to play football professionally was Charles Follis. Played for the Shelby Blues in 1902 to 1906.
Of the Ohio League, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The first African American to participate in the Olympic Games was George Poage, and he won 2 bronze medals. The first heavyweight champion that was African American. Everybody's here is African American, so I'm gonna stop saying African American.
Yeah.
The first heavyweight boxing champion was Jack Johnson. Many of us know this already. The first gold medal winner was John Taylor in track and field in the medley relay team. In the 1916s, we have the first the first player to win playing the Rose Bowl was Fritz Pollard. Man, I did something about Fritz Pollard a couple years ago for Black History Month. That brother was cold at Brown University. The first woman to win a major sports title was Lucy Diggs Slow, and that was with the American Tennis Association. And this once again in 1917. The first brother NFL players, once again, going back to Fritz Pollard and Bobby Marshall, to become NFL players. The first NFL coach go back to be well, he wasn't a full coach, he was a co-coach, and there goes to Fritz Pollard again. The first African American to win individual Olympic gold medal was DeHart Hubbard, and that was for the long jump. Gone to in 1929, the first sportscaster was Sherman Jocko Maxwell in Newark, New Jersey. Okay. Once again, this is just sports. I'm going down the history, baby. Are we okay with this timeline, y'all? Can we go down it?
Yes.
Okay. The first professional baseball player in Japan was Jimmy Bonner, but he's African American, so it still count. Okay, I know we're talking about America, but he's one of us.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So 1946, first African American to sign a contract with an NFL team in the modern league was Kenny Washington.
And that's because in the 1940s was when blacks were allowed to play professionally.
Say that. So and it goes to the 1947s in the Major League Baseball. And this is also post World War II. After we once again go into that military, we have to fight, then we get to play. It's still a fight all in general. But Jackie Robinson going to the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947, as well as Larry Doby going to the Cleveland Indians, and the first African American consensus college All American basketball player was Dunn Barksdale. All right. Okay. First woman to win an Olympic gold medal in 1948 was Alice Coachman. What are you in the high jump? Go ahead, Alice. You look like you were jumping high, Alice. I ain't mad at you. Going back to the first African American on an Olympic basketball team and gold medal basketball winner. Ain't that something? First time on, get the gold medal. Was Dunn Barksdale in 1948. And first to design and construct a professional golf course was Bill Powell. Ooh, go ahead. Look at us. Us. All right. So going forward, we talk about in 1950s, the first African American woman to compete in the World Tennis Tour with Althea Gibson. I think I talked about Althea Gibson before. First African American NBA basketball players was Nat Sweetwater Clifton, Chuck Hooper, Earl Lloyd, and Harold Hunter. And that's from the Knicks, the Celtics, the Capitals, and Harold Hunter was the first to sign an NBA contract, signing with the Washington Capitals in 1950. However, he was cut from the team in training camp and did not play professionally. So he was signed, but he did not play. That's okay. First African American named to a college football Hall of Fame was Duke Slater.
Duke.
And this is 1951. Let me make sure the years they were in.
Okay.
And the same year, quarterback became a regular starter of the professional team was Bernie Custis. So in 1951, that's when we had the first black starting quarterback, and that was Bernie Custis of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And this was in Canada. Wow. So that's just gonna say in America, North America. So 1953, we can go for it. First African American player to play an NBA All-Star game was Dunn Barksdale. First African American quarterback in an NFL after the post-war was Willie Thrower. Ain't this your last name Thrower? Okay, you
born a Taos.
First African Americans to play in the Orange Bowl was Charles Bryant and John McWilliams in 1955. So 1950s, we making all types of entry into sports and making changes. So from first African Americans to break the color barrier in the Sugar Bowl was Bobby Greer. First Wimbledon champion tennis was Althea Gibson. Back at you one more time. And the doubles, and she did it with doubles with a white girl by the name of Angelique Buxton. Okay. And she won the Grand Slam. Oh, okay. The first to win the Cy Young Award in 1956 was Don Newcomb of the Brooklyn Dodgers. That's a big deal in 1956. 1957, first African American NFL assistant coach, receivers coach, Larry Perry. Okay, we get into coaching in the NFL. We got Willie O'Ree, that he was he debuted with the Boston Bruins in a game against the Canadians. We could become the first black player to play play in the NHL. All right, now we're going into the 1960s. I'm gonna try to speed it up for us. Heisman Trophy winner Ernie Davis. Shirley Stiffer was the first to join the PGA Tour. Then we have Jackie Robinson to be inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1962. Then follow up the first coach for the Major League Baseball was John Jordan Buck O'Neill. 1963, we have Elston Howard, the New York Yankees, to be named American League MVP. And these are all first, by the way. First African Americans inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. New York Renaissance inducted as a team, the whole team. The NFL, the first African American to win in NASCAR. I know who this is, Wendell Scott. I remember he looked. I think what's the movie? Part of the movie. Oh my gosh, what's the name of it? Talladega Nights. His homeboy, with Shaking Bake, not Will Ferrell character. He looks just like Wendell Scott, but white. But Wendell Scott black because Wendell Scott he looks white, but he's black. Okay, we got Bob Gibson, 1964 player to be named MLB World Series MVP. We have Ladies Professional Golf Association. Dang, hold on. Althea played tennis and golf.
Multifaceted.
Okay, sister. Okay, I know who we're gonna be talking about this year. All right. But she got it first African American to be joined the Ladies Professional Golf Association. 1966, we have Bill Russell to first African American coach in the National Basketball Association. We have MLB umpire was Emmett Ashford. We have Larry Powell was the first NFL broadcaster. We have the first team of 5 African American starters to win the NCAA basketball tournament, the Texas Western Miners basketball team. In 1967, first African American to win the PGA Tour was Charlie Slifford. Then we backed over same thing in 1967 with Emian Tunnel that got inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 1968, we have Arthur Ashe Grand Slam tennis event to win. So because remember a woman won first in tennis before a black man, and that goes back to that badass Althea. But then the first African American to start a quarterback in a modern professionalism was Marlon Briscoe of the Denver Broncos of the AFL. The first African American coach to win an NBA championship was Bill Russell. I did not know that he won as a coach. It's a different Bill Russell, I think. But anyway, 1970s. Lord, because it's coming close into the 80s. That's what I'm looking forward to. First African American basketball player to win NBA All-Star MVP, NBA Finals MVP, and NBA MVP overall all in one season was Willis Reed. We go all the way down to first African American to be accepted into free agency was Curt Flood, and free agency came from black people too. That's a conversation we'll touch back and more. I'll touch on it now. First African American initiated the concept of free agency. He refused to accept a trade following in 1969, ultimately appealing his case to the U.S. Supreme Court. The trend of free agency expanded across the entire landscape of professional sports in total. Can I say that again?
So he started something that nobody has ever done.
Nobody has ever done in any sport. Because once you had a contract with a team, Shan, you was stuck with that team. But not until this brother, Curt Flood, the Rosa Parks of sports, said, I'm not go. I'm not go play. That opened up free agency for all players across all sport. That started the concept of it. And this was in the MLB. And now people getting paid billions of dollars off this. Okay. Shout out to Curt Flood. All right. First African American National Basketball NBA General Manager Wayne Embry. First African American inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Team owner was Bob Douglas. 1974, Coach of the Year Ray Scott, Detroit Pistons. 1975, Bill Russell inducted in the Hall of Fame. What else happened in 1975? Frank Robinson became a manager in the MLB. Lee Elder. I think I covered Lee Elder before. I know a Lee Elder, actually, but that's a white woman. But he played Major League men's major golf championship. He won the Masters. And you look at his picture, I would be scared to play golf against him. He looked aggressive. Like, then we have.
We'll be right back with today's episode. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. The way people today are under so much pressure socially, mentally, and emotionally, they need more help than a friend or family can extend. We should care about ourselves just as much as we set aside time and space to hear others' issues, problems, and challenges. We all have life challenges, but if you don't have someone to talk to, BetterHelp will work with you through therapy, providing affordable care you can count on in a professional way. If you contact www.betterhelp.com/shegetsIt, you can get started today and enjoy 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. Get the help that you need to help you think through all of today's issues, problems, anxiety, self-esteem, depression, grief, illnesses, phobias, relationship issues. If you just need someone to talk to in those late nights, those early mornings, in the middle of the day when everyone else is working, BetterHelp is there to provide you assistance. Don't neglect yourself with everything that's going on today. We all have life challenges. Do not be ashamed of it. BetterHelp is there to help. Now back to the show. Thank you for checking out She Gets It Pod. If you would like to support this podcast, you can always donate at our host, Red Circle, at redcircle.com, or the link in the show notes. You can also find the BetterHelp link in the show notes. And you can support by purchasing anything you would like off of She Gets It shop with Teespring. Now back to the show.
Franco Harris. He just passed away, I believe, too. Super Bowl MVP, first to be named of it. Mixed heritage. He was also of Italian American. He was the first Italian to win the award too, but he was Italian and black. 1977, we have Bill Lucas, first general manager of the MLB. Willie Jefferson. Willie Jeffries, the first coach in Division 1A college basketball. Is that college football? Val James to play in the NHL. The Buffalo Sabres. First African American. Okay, I guess they had a different basketball league then. I know I named somebody already. Then we got Clarence Gaines, first basketball Hall of Fame coach, African American, to do so. Yeah, to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. And before that, also they say Bob Douglas and Bill Russell. First African American coach to win the NCAA's men's championship was John Thompson. Teddy Seymour was the first man to sail around the world solo. I guess that's a sport too. Okay. This is 1987 now. 1988. Ooh, these 80s. I'm born now, by the way. I'm here. Okay. The first African American NFL referee was Johnny Greer. The first African American to win a medal in the Winter Olympics was Debbie Thomas. The first quarterback to win a Super Bowl was Doug Williams, and I know that was from the Redskins. Covered him too. In 1989, first African American NFL head coach was Art Shell of the Raiders. 1991, first African American to qualify in the Indianapolis 500 auto racing was Willie T. Reeves. that last name. 1992, MLB manager to reach and win the World Series with Cito Gaston. Woo. Then we're going sailing around the world again. This time they went to the Cape Horn, South Africa, avoiding Panama and the Suez Canal was Bill Pickney. First African American to serve home plate umpire at the World Series was Charlie Wilson. Then we have the first African American to win the United States Amateur Championship in 1994. You know who this is, Shan? We're in the 90s now.
1994.
Yes. In golf.
No.
Tiger Woods. Dang, that was an easy toss up. So this is Tiger Woods. This is first. MLB general manager to win the World Series of Bob Watson in 96. In 97, men's major golf championship. Who won the Masters?
What?
Who won the Golf Masters in 1997? We the first African Americans to win the men's major golf championship, the Masters.
Mr. Woods.
Who?
Mr. Woods.
Tiger Woods?
Yes.
Correct. Tiger Woods. Good job. First African American in UFC championship was Maurice Smith. Ooh, 1998. Tiger Woods again winning the President's Cup. First one. Oh, are y'all getting tired? Y'all okay?
All this greatness.
That's all I'm saying. It's like, because we're going into this is when we're alive, okay? First African American winner Olympic gold medal, Vanetta Flowers. First African American to become majority owner of a U.S. sports team was Robert Johnson of the Charlotte Bobcats. First African American to hold number one rank in tennis.
The girls.
One of them. Which one?
Serena.
Not that one.
Venus.
First African American to hold the year-end number one rank in tennis.
Serena.
Correct. Okay. The first African American to be named year-end world championship by the International Tennis Federation, Serena Williams. First African American Arena League football head coach to win Arena Bowl was Darren Arbit. First African American general manager in the National Football League was Ozzie Newsome. The first to win the career Grand Slam, Serena Williams. The first NBA general manager to win the NBA Finals, Joe Dumars. I did not know that. Damn. Okay, Joe. The first African American Canadian Football League head coach to win and to reach and win the Grey Cup, Pinball Clemens.
What a name!
The first inducted into the Golf Hall of Fame, Charlie Sifford. First African American to play U.S. softball during the Olympics, Natasha Watley. Go ahead, Natasha. First African American individual in this 2006 gold medal winner, Shawnee Davis. First NFL head coach to reach the NFL Super Bowl, Lovie Smith. Say
Bob Johnson made history as the first Black person to own an NBA team in 2002.
Hold on, let's go back to 2002. Who was it?
That's crazy. Like, give Bob his props.
Did I miss Bob? I know I got Ozzie right here. Ozzie Newsome Jr. He was the first general manager of the NFL.
Yeah, 2002, Bob Johnson made history by the first Black person to own an NBA team.
Oh, this show don't have Bob Johnson right here. But hey, we got you, Bob. Thank you, Shan. So we got 2007, Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy, the first coaches to NFL head coaches to reach which reached the NFL. Black, they both Black, by the way. And Tony Dungy won that in 2007. So either way, we was coming out to winner. First African American to referee a Super Bowl in 2008 was Mike Carey. First NFL general manager to win the Super Bowl, Jerry Reese in New York Giants in 2008. 2009, first African Americans doubles team to be named year end. Y'all know who that is. That's Serena and Venus. Anything come down to sports after 1994 is going to be Serena and Venus. Come down to, you know what? Let me take that back.
Yes,
we got some hitters. We got some hitters later on. We have some hitters.
I can't remember her name right now.
It's not Coco. It's dang. I'm gonna be so mad. It's two of them. Two of them are cold. First African Americans to win the Stanley Cup. Shut up, Dustin. I am gonna try your last name, Dustin, with the Chicago Blackhawks. I didn't know you won. Go ahead, brother. I knew you were playing. First African American gymnast to win the women's artistic individual all around at the Olympics Games. Can you guess who that is, Shan?
Is who husband been on the hot water.
No.
Oh.
When they asked to do the Dougie.
I don't know her name.
Gabby Douglas. That's 2012.
Okay.
2013, first African American gymnast to win the women's artistic individual all around at the World Artistic Gymnastic Championship is who?
I don't know her name.
Yes, you do. Simone Biles. Right there. 2014, first African American player named to the USA Curtis Cup team, Mariah Stackhouse. First African American to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Wendell Scott. First African American commissioner of the North American Sports League, Jerry Ulrich. And 2018, first African American to play the U.S. hockey in the Olympics Games, Jordan Greenway. 2020, first African American president of the NFL team, Jason Wright, to win with the Washington football team. First African American NHL play-by-play broadcaster, Everett Fitzgerald. First African American NHL general manager, Brett Peterson. 2021, first full-time female African American NFL coach, Jennifer King. First female African American NFL referee, Maya Shaka. 2022, first African American manager to win in 2000 MLB games was Dusty Baker. And I think that was there. Yeah, that's my guy right there. And the first African American general manager NHL team in 2022 is Mike Greer of the San Jose Sharks. Y'all can speed through all that if you want to. Fast forward if you mind. I just had to read and share that over 100 years now, still to this day,
yes,
we're making history. We're breaking barriers, and we're making these changes. Okay,
mm-hmm.
I just want to be clear about that. We would not be where we're at without us trying and us exceeding and excelling and being more than what they expected us to be. So much love to all these athletes, all these coaches, all these pioneers of their fields and their utilizing their talents, and make sure we don't stop.
And
a lot of things.
I want to say they were doing all of these great things through communities being burnt down, Black people being killed, Black people being lynched, buses being burnt, churches being burnt, their families being killed, them not being able to eat at certain restaurants, them not being able to sit in certain places with their other players, not being able to use the same bathrooms. Sometimes they couldn't even get a hotel because of the color of their skin. And they kept pushing through and showing up and playing their off, regardless of how they were being treated, regardless of how great of a player they were. And so when we say Black people in sports is political, it's been political.
Yeah. That whole mindset said of shut up and dribble. No, never.
The audacity for her to say it.
And because peep game and pay attention how change comes from the fight that we put forth. Because if you understood how much that meant with the fight about free agency, it's two players in Japan collectively get paid $1.25 billion. Free agency. Players, oh man. And that's in a different, this was in the, what was it, MLB, if I'm not mistaken. And it transitions to the NFL and the NBA. what's called the MFLA. I think that's the soccer league. All these things come from
greatness.
greatness. Greatness. So once again, we love what we do. I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of you, Shan. We got to continue to break records and make history. No matter how small you think it may be, you're impactful. We got to continue uplifting these names and these people who've done things and break the barriers before us as well.
Yeah, and it takes, for me personally, it takes pointing out of history of the first black this, the first black that, with the greatness that has been done, for me to find comfort in still hearing the first black woman or the first black man to X, Y, and Z, because I get upset that we still are in a position to have to say the first black. It's kind of like we've come so far, but we're still having to point out that we've just broken through this excellent thing. And at times I wanted to not have to be the first black, but that's like me not wanting progress. So I cannot want that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, dang, it's 2024. Why we still gotta fight?
Because we still gotta fight.
Yeah.
Like we're not the ones that's like, we've had this conversation before, Shan.
I know.
And that's the thing. It's like you just want to be normal, but it's not that. If you just acting like everything's normal, is you dismissing the barriers that's been placed in front of you and others.
Yeah.
Say that. Yeah. And I know a lot of people like, oh, well, it's the same thing. No, you've had an extreme head start above us.
Yeah. And that's why it's important for our kids to have their books pointing out their real history, because if they don't have that, like what I just explained, they're going to feel like where they're at is normal among their peers, and it's not. It's like it's not reinforcing their greatness or their encouragement or their achievements for what they look like and where they are in this country, because you're erasing what limitations have been.
So I see that it's still, once again, sports is still being changed. We didn't even get into detail about the HBCUs. We didn't get in too much detail about the Negro League sports and why they were necessary. We didn't get into too much about even the mindset of Pop Warner and things of that nature. How we are bred and still to be athletes more than anything else. I'm trying to keep it a little bit positive, if you know what I mean. But I think sports are very impactful. Sports has a strong impact here in America. Let me clarify that. And we, as being Black or African American descendants of slavery, we are very impactful for being Americans here in total. Like basketball, if I look at the percentage of represent in the NBA, give me 1 second. I will Google things. Yeah. Hold on. The percent. And NBA. 72 wow. 73.2% is the Black players in the BA. Okay. 16.8 is white. All right. Let's look up NFL. I think that's gonna be low. No, it's gonna be lower. 56% is Black now. Okay. Just over 50%, 56%. MLB will be much lower. That's interesting. 40% of MLB is made of players of color, but only 6% identifies Black or African American. Me no Black. Me no Black. Hey, we know what that is, okay? We know what that is.
Asian community, Dominican. There's so many. I looked at those numbers too.
And 3% of the NHL are Black. 34 players are actively active players are black.
But I do love how we're breaking into more sports that you wouldn't most likely see black people in, like hockey.
The NASCAR. I'm waiting for us to get a NASCAR winner. Okay. Waiting. Like, and I know that what's the game that's cracking now that I'm gonna learn how to play and I'm gonna make history with it.
Yeah.
Is it not cricket, not frog? What is the name of it? Rick Ross will say he play it all the time. It's like tennis, but with a paddle instead of a racket.
Oh, I know.
Pickleball.
That's big in New York.
Like, wait till I learn how to play pickleball. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Y'all go see me out here. You ain't seen me. I'm a competitive. Wait till I learn how to play pickleball. It's a wrap for y'all, son.
I don't know. We still got a lot more things to break into.
And we will do it.
To show up in.
And we need to let our kids have more exposure in different sports as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to my homegirl, Alexius. Her son is huge. Her son is a big boy, okay? And she had that boy play lacrosse. When I thought he was a big kid, I'm thinking he may be a little bit my size or bigger.
Yeah.
I'm looking up. He in 7th grade, and I'm looking up to him.
Wow.
And he big and he stocky too. That's the thing. He ain't just like tall. And he had lacrosse. I said, I know I came over, usually I'm from Texas. Like, yeah, they would drag him on the football field. Let me tell you that. But he out there playing lacrosse, and I was just wanting him to just knock one of them kids over. I was like, man, he could just obliterate kids if he wanted to. But when them hormones kick in, she can't stop him from being the aggressive. That's a whole different conversation. If we talk about how sports and how it affects us and how we can get a lot of aggressiveness out of us and how it's ways for us to make it out of the community and make a livelihood for our family and come back to the community, what we should do. Sports has been able to be that catalyst for us. Sports have been the thing to be able to get us more rights too, from the Olympics to football, all throughout.
/ our last episode about mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those coaches be in positions as those kids' fathers sometimes.
They don't be watching their own kids. But let me stop being messy. But oh goodness, but yeah, this has been a pleasure.
Yeah.
But yeah, if y'all think of any sports or anything or any players that we may have missed over here,
mention it below.
Let us know. Leave a comment.
Tag us.
Come on, talk to us about it. And we go live every Sunday, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. Oh, apologize. 7:30 Central Standard Time. All right. Yeah. And we chop it up. We love to have you.
And next month, please check out Everything Culture. Every year, Drake over here does something great for his favorite month, for Black History Month. And not sure yet what he got up his sleeve, but just check that podcast out. Support your people, not just for that month. You're going to see a lot of businesses rolling things out for that month. Show love to Black people all year. You know what I'm saying? We spend the most, we give a lot, despite what little we have. And if we have a lot, show up a lot. And so appreciate us because, we do a lot in our community. Thank you again for listening to She Gets a Pod and Everything Culture. Talks They Don't Want to Have series. This was episode 13. Stay tuned. We got one more up our sleeve next week, and we're done with this series. I've enjoyed this series.
I've enjoyed it as well.
Series. I appreciate y'all. Please educate your friends, your family. Sit at the table and have these discussions. There's a lot of great creators who have made history cards on Black history. There's no longer a reason why you don't know about it. You're not in the know, have heard about it. If your family does not know, have the conversation. We all have great Black stories to share, and if we don't share them, our children probably won't have them. A lot of our talents and our knowledge and our wisdom and what we naturally can do is from our grandparents and their grandparents and their parents. And if we don't talk about it and we don't share it, we might take what we do for granted. So have that conversation. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast. Please follow Drake at Everything Culture. Please find me at Shambi Podden, and we'll be back with another one. Thank you so much for checking out this podcast and this channel, Shan and Pods, and we'll check you next time.
Peace.
Look at the balloons again.
How old are you?
Every time. You can find Drake and myself on all the podcast platforms. If you would like to email me, it's at shegetsitpod@gmail.com. And if you would like to @ Drake, it's at Everything Culture. You can find us on IG, TikTok, X, and Stereo app. Peace.